every goddamn time it's muted. There's something on this software that is doing my head in. So I will fix that. Yeah. Did the little play work on the me being dead? I found some stuff that kind of funny. Should have worked anyway. And if you can hear that, it should have been perfect. Anywho, so yes, not sure how many people are going to be in this one. Just because I did midweek stream, and the midweek stream kind of stole a little bit of the thunder. To your question, DJ, I'm a lot better, thank you very much. It was just what day did I stream? Did I stream Wednesday or Thursday? I can't even remember. It was Wednesday, wasn't it? Wednesday I streamed. I'm much better, but Thursday I had a dentist appointment, which was hell on earth. Just because I'm Jake's heartbeat, yeah. Yeah, it was Wednesday, wasn't it? So yes. For some of the start of the streams, I am thinking, for the time being, just to wind some people up, because I'm in that kind of mood, that I'm going to just do the heartbeat and everything else, and then fade into that. Because, you know what? I can do that. I'm able to. I'm allowed to take the Michael out of myself of people who've been taking the Michael and me. So, yeah. It's been an interesting week. I'm not going to lie. Wednesday felt rubbish, but that live stream on Deli Bashiru did absolutely superb. So thank you all the people who have watched it after the fact. It really does appreciate it. But I can't believe it that once like that had done it, it hit, I think by the morning it was already at like 500. So it really did well. And I'm very, very shocked how well it did actually, because it wasn't one that I thought that would do well. Bethway, mate, show that they can't get to you. Exactly, mate. I might as well have a bit of fun with it. You never know. I might green myself into a coffin one day just to see if that plays with them. Because, you know, it's worth having a bit of a joke and laugh. So, it's an interesting one this week because I'm not sure if people are going to come in this week because I did the midweek one. So, we'll see what happens. But it's interesting. It's interesting now because I didn't realise until watching Darren Moore press conference, and I do have a slight little thing that we can go into. So I've got little bits that I'm playing with at the minute to try and go. But so let's talk about Darren's press conference. You can see the man there looking very stern at a laptop, waiting for a question, as you can imagine. But let's have a word about this press conference because it was interesting, some of the stuff that got said by Darren in this. The big one was on the injury front. It looked like Ekin Fenwick is nearly back. I always want to say Ekin Fenwick, and I know that's not a thing. He's retired now. Not as in dead in terms of that he doesn't play anymore. But it's that weird one because if he comes back, that could solve a lot of our issues going forward at the back. Bad choice of words, I know. It would help a lot, and it'd be interesting to see what Darren does with the squad. I know we haven't seen a lot of him yet. We saw about 20 minutes at MK, but that 20 minutes we saw looked superb. He looked like he's the kind of player we needed. Yeah, I do find that Barry Bannon got England in the sweet set. I find it even more funny that Darren hasn't even taken his pick yet because he didn't know what was going on. The lads have properly stitched him up there. Gone, oh yeah, Gaffer, you can have whatever's left in the pot. Again, I know people are really looking forward to this. Some people are really looking forward to this World Cup. I just can't get into it. I really can't. But it was interesting hearing about what Darren said about Femi Wu being close to being back. Joe Byers' knock is a little bit more of it's sounding like it's a soft muscle injury. But apart from that, everyone's starting to come back. And the big thing that I didn't know was that, and I looked it up while after the fact and stuff, this is our last home game for like a month, which we need to travel very well this year. Let's have a look at what the stats are for travelling so far this season. I know it's better than last year. That is a fact. But we need to do really well on the road because that could be an issue come. Oh, that could be an issue in terms of what we're trying to do. But a lot of the teams we got, it's playing into our hands a little bit, if you know what I mean. 16 players out of contract this summer, very worrying, but I hope. It is very worrying, but at the same time, you look at the people who are out of contract. Josh Windasser got an extra year. Barry Bannon it looked like he's going to hit this thing, this point of staying. You look at them and you're hoping that this period from, well, anywhere from now till November, till the end of November, the period where we can get all these lads who are on contract that are expiring either sat down and say, agree in principle and we'll get it signed around March, or agree and sign and we'll just get it over with so you can concentrate on your football. But it was always going to be interesting with when they did with the whole life. Am I frozen again? Let me have a look. I haven't. It's on mine. It was always going to be interesting what Wednesday did next, because at the end of the day, yes, there's a lot of players who are out of contract, but I think that gives us a good time to have a look at what we need, because come the summer, there's a lot of players who, if we're up, may not get anywhere near this Wednesday team in the Championship, and you might want to go for a different kind of player. The fact that you've got someone like a Will Vokes who spoke very well this week about mental health and how he fell out of love for the game of football and came back to when it kind of opened his eyes a little bit and made him enjoy football again. And it's really nice to see. Derby away is going to be a good game. I agree now. As long as they don't nick any more chance, I'm not bothered. Because they nicked loads of them over the years. But we need to just concentrate on ourselves. Like, you look at the games coming up. Let me bring up our picture. But yeah, if you're looking at what we got away and home, so our home record is 5-3-1 with 18 points at home. Our away record is 6-1-2 with 19 points. We've only lost 3 games this season. And that is a massive improvement from where we were. So we've got Shrewsbury Town, Mansfield Town in the FA Cup, Derby County, Exeter, and then our next home game is Oxford. And Mansfield Town you can kind of count because it's the second round of proper, but Oxford is the next game at home, and that is on the 17th of December. So we got some very tricky games there that we're going to have to really do well at, because the teams that do well, Punk Star, about Shrewsbury game, and I can remember. Really? Oh, cool. It's a weird one. The Shrewsbury game is really weird because I find them an interesting team. They are a much better team than people give them credit for. They were our bogey team last year. Last year, they caused us so many problems. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it seems like we're starting to put these bogey teams to bed now. And it'll be nice to see what we can do with this team starting to fire on all cylinders as well. They really are starting to look like a team that's playing together. And it's interesting. You hear the comments, especially from Stockdale. Stockdale, who's someone who come in new, doesn't know the lay of the land, knows some of the players due to past appearances or playing against us. He knows a little bit. But not a lot. But he come in, like I said, he made it very hard to beat. And yeah, it is nice to see Jay Dunkley doing well, because he was a good player. He was one of the players that I was actually gutted didn't get a new contract. But I could understand why we didn't give it in, because we were looking for a different kind of player, and he had that injury issue, which he never really seemed to get rid of when he played at Wednesday. At Shrewsbury Town, he's had an entire, he played every game. Every game this season, he had played. And that's what he needed. He needed to go somewhere and play every game. And I think with Wednesday last season was just such a nightmare at the back with defence. It made it very, very difficult, didn't it? But it's nice to see him doing well. Hopefully, Smith, Windass, Wilkes, interesting that Darren forgot about Wilkes being on the injury thing. But it's very interesting to see what happening. Was he a Monk sign? I think he was. I think you're right. Yes, I think he was a Monk signing because we signed him because he had that horror injury at Wigan and then became a free agent. And we said we'd try and get him back to full fitness. Yeah, I think he was a Monk signing, Manny. Femiwu, Adeniran, Byers, all close to being back. Yeah, which is great. Out of all three of them, it's the big one who got to make a little bit to show me a little bit more, and I know it sounds really weird because we've seen a lot of him already, is Adeniran. Adeniran needs to go through a run in the team where he can stay fit. And that's the kind of thing I had with Delhi as well. Delhi Bashiru needed to show us that he can stay a little bit fitter than what he can do. Sometimes he huffs and puffs. We get those really good worldies and he runs. I think the thing with Bashiru, he runs himself into the ground. And you need to learn a little bit from like the Bannon kind of thing of just either slowing it down or know when to run yourself and then get yourself back. It's interesting. 9 current viewers and 4 likes. Please get it up. I much appreciate if the likes go up. I do appreciate it. We have got a lot of midfielders. Our midfield is somewhere which is very stacked. And I said in the transfer window that I wanted one more. I really wanted one more central defender because I just wasn't confident with our luck at the back. And you might say I jinxed it. Then if that's the case, I jinxed it. It's on me. It's my fault. I'll take the blame. But at the same time, you got to realize. I understand why Darren was like, "Yeah, I think I've got enough," and they thought they got enough. I mean, we brought in like 5 centre. We had 5 centre backs, so we brought in. We brought in Femiwu, Hennigan. I'm missing one. Who am I missing? No, I'll say it. Anyway, we brought in 5, and we had that whole situation where we were looking at it, and it was always going to be the position that looked like we could struggle again. I think getting Stockdale in, I know a lot of people saw his age and were very concerned about it, thinking, right, he's too old, he's over the hill, some people were saying at the point. But it's that experience that we lacked so much last season. And that's no disrespect to Bailey Peacock-Farrell, but you needed someone like that. 2 centrals in Jan, 1 striker, another key for me. Still think we need another bit. I think you're right on the experienced keeper. I think we do need another experienced keeper just to back Stockdale up and just put some experience there on the bench. That's no disrespect to Dawson. I think Dawson, when he does play, has been okay. The interesting thing is the way we play. Could we play with wing backs and stuff? It's going to be interesting there. I think we need to start looking at fullbacks and wing backs next season, only due to the ages, Hunt, Palmer, and Johnson. Yeah, I can see that. You could even probably turn around if Iorfa gets a new deal, put him back as a right wing back. I think that would be a good deal. I think you're right. We do need to start looking at wing backs, and it's interesting because Johnson technically not a wing back, but he started to play it well again. It's really weird with Johnson because he went from being not good in that position at the start of the season, this season, then grew into it again. So it will be interesting to see what happens there. I think I can see us keeping Mighton till end of the season. I think they'll just want him to get some game time, and if we're in a promotion automatic playoff thing, they will want to give him that experience. I think there's a lot of clubs like that at the minute. 2 centrals, 1 yeah. Strikers would be interesting, DJ. I don't know how that would work, because we've got a lot of strikers at the minute who are not particularly going on all cylinders yet. But it was interesting what Barry Bannon said in his interview, where he said, we always end stronger than what we start. And he's right. We are always the team that start a bit poorly, take a bit of time to get used to it, and then we have a really good end to the season. This is where our strikers, i.e. Gregory last season, came into his own. He really did come into his own then. Bored out of my mind. Can't wait till tomorrow. Nice away day to Burton. 6 a.m. start to hope. Hope you don't mind me looking a good look for tomorrow. No, not at all, Stevie. Hope you can get there. How are you getting there, by the way? Because I'm speaking to some Plymouth fans earlier. They said they were struggling to get down to Burton due to the trains. Are you getting on a coach or are you driving there? I do not envy your journey, but I respect the hell out of what Plymouth do to get to their game, just because how far you are away and how you get the players at times as well, because at times your recruitment must be really top notch to get people to go to Plymouth at times. And that's not a disrespect. Plymouth and Cornwall, lovely part of the world. But you get footballers football will be like, where? Or they'll look at it and go, oh, it's really far away from here. So your recruitment, spot on. I'm really impressed by it. Wilt's not a full striker though. Noy Patterson, same with Mighton. Well, Windass ain't a Mike striker though. So the only senior strikers are technically Smith and Gregory. I think Patterson's your utility. You put him anywhere, he'll do a job. I see Wilt more the right winger than striker. I think he looks a bit better when he can cut inside onto his right. You are right. Technically, we only have 2 registered strikers, and that's Smith and Gregory. You are right, DJ. And we could do with some more actually recognised strikers. The thing with strikers, if they're doing decent, or unless they're a loan from the Premier League, they cost a bit. And we may have to say, look, we'll put 5 to 6 million on this player. I nearly said 10 million then. And see if he can get the goals and get us up. It's not like we're not scoring a lot. We are scoring enough. It's just we need to get them properly going. So, yeah, Plymouth have done really well with loans, and a couple of good ones in Jan could steal promotion for us if we get it right. Oh, definitely. Their loans have been superb, Jim. Their loans, I've been so impressed with how they've done it. The loan for me with Plymouth is that we looked at Cosgroves twice. Once in January and once in the summer. And the one in January, we didn't get it because we went and got Jules John, which seemed to be a bit of a mistake. He's injured again now as well. And I'm wondering if Cosgrove was the person we may have been looking at after the initial 200k bid for Wilt collapse, and we were looking at other people. That'll be interesting. Tango is doing Wolverhampton. Where he lived, to Sheffield to Wend, and then I'd seen that, DJ. That man puts a lot of hours and travel to Wednesday and England games, so fair play to him. It'll be interesting to see. How he gets on over in Qatar, because I'm pretty sure they will be quite strict on him having to wear a top. But I'm knowing Tango, he'll respect the law and he'll be fine knowing that. But yeah, Tango goes here, there, and everywhere, doesn't he, for club and country, and you've got to respect him. Coach, mate, thank you for your kind words. Long way to go in the league. I think Wednesday will get autos, and I think you're stronger than it, so Burton will be it. Burton are good at home, I'm not going to lie. Burton are very good. They're starting to turn a corner now, Burton. They just need to start making some of the possession they have and shots count. It'll be a tough test for you. You don't particularly travel well. That's what I have noticed this year. You're not a good team that travel. Home Park, any team plays you at Home Park, you wipe the floor with them. You get that place rocking, the crowd get going, it's a done deal. That game is just done because you just get that place going. Away from home, I think you just need to, if you get your waveform going, you'll be off. You'll be out of sight. Having Schumacher sign a deal till 2027 puts all those rumours again to bed, which is something you don't need. You don't want to be having it again where you get a manager who looks like a really good, solid option for you and then buggers off. You don't want to have that again. So that's a good commitment for you guys as a club. You can back this. I think your ownership are at that point where they're ready to back him. If he needs something in January, they'll give it him. I know at one point this season, he was telling the crowd to calm down with the pyros, just because He said if we have a fine from the EFL, that'll eat into our transfer budget. And you don't think of it like that. It's one of those things you rarely think about, like the transfer budget being eaten into due to a fine. But at Plymouth, it's one of those things that you're not got massive amount, but you know how to build a team. So it'll be a tough one tomorrow for you. I see Wilkes working better in a 4-3-3 as a part of a front three. That, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That will work. I think it's interesting because we played a little bit of like 4 at the back and we look decent. We look okay. I'm not too worried about us if we play a 4. I think for me, it's just where we line things up. I think there's definitely a system more want to play, and ideally 3 at the back. We've seen that. But when we do go to a 4, I do think we look a little bit stronger. And Wilkes playing as one of the 3 makes sense, so it'll be good. I remember Tango doing press ups at front of the away end, and in the friendly we know on to here at Sickfield, crowd loved it. Oh, Tango's just lovely. You meet Tango, he's just a lovely bloke who he got a heart of gold, and the stick that he's had in the past from some stewards or from some teams, it's insane. It's insane. He keeps himself to a point. Gets into crowd, keeps himself happy, kept the fan going. It's one of those things that it annoys me, some of the the rep he gets, sorry. And it's uncalled for because he's just a lovely bloke. Hoping for double promotion, Northampton went. Well, Northampton are looking good this season. I'm not going to lie, Jim. They are looking good. When we do the review show with 18 Dapper and Ian Bradley, I've been looking into League 2 because of Dapper and having to watch all the EFL highlights. They look very solid this season. So that will be interesting. Fancy that will be a tough game. Good luck to yourself tomorrow. Also, Shrewsbury are strong side, but when they are really deep side, we were lucky. It's nice to hear you say we were lucky, but you were just clinical on the day. On the day, you were clinical. Yeah, we hit the post and your keeper had a worldie. At the end of the day, mate, I like games like that, but I even love it even more how tight the league table is at the minute, because it makes it fun. I know there's a lot of League 1, League 2 teams and fans who I spoke to recently who've been asked, are you doing the World Cup? Are you doing out about the World Cup? It's like, no, our games are on. I couldn't give a monkey's. And normally I'm up for the World Cup. Normally I can get into it. This season, with where it is and how it is and how it's in the middle of a season, I just haven't got the attention span. I haven't got the kind of to get up for it. It's like, for me, it just feels like we're doing a friendly. And that sounds daft to say when it's World Cup year. It's World Cup year, and I just think it's just like, it's a friendly. That shouldn't be how the World Cup is seen. It should be the biggest tournament in the world. And I just don't feel that hype for it this season. This year competition, it bumped me. It bumped me because I love a tournament, an international tournament. Tournament. I drove with Lincoln and Bristol Rovers. Don't look too bad now. They're all chased. Yeah, exactly. The Bristol one was the one that annoyed me the most. I'm not going to lie. The Bristol one was the one that annoyed me the most because I thought we did well in that and we could have got more out of it. Lincoln are just very, very good at home. They are a good home team. Pardon me. They're starting to find a bit of their form now. Let's just have a look at league table out of interest. I haven't done this in a while. Next time I do a live one on the Friday, I'm going to try and see if I can hook the iPad up so I can do like a mini Guy Sports, kind of move it around and move stuff around, and then we can see things. Let's have a look. Lincoln are starting to get out of trouble now. They got 23 points. Bristol Rovers need to go on a bit of a push. Fleetwood are looking decent. I think you look at that bottom 4. Out of all of them, I think MK can get out of that and go on a run. They are looking good. They're starting to look like the team of old. They just can't get it in the net. That's their issue at the minute. They need to go. If they can do that, that'd be fantastic. And they'll be out of it. But they just need to get going, and they haven't yet. And that MK Dons is easy. It's a mixture. You lose Darling at the back and you lose Twine on the who with most of your goal for. You understand why it's so bad there. But when they got to just the one thing I've noticed this year with Wednesday as a team, we're not talking about other teams. Last season, at this point, we were talking about other teams all the time. Players were always talking about, well, we're looking at this team, we're looking at this. You hear them talking interviews now, we're just concentrating ourselves. We don't really want to talk about other teams. You can and speculate, but we don't want to. And I think that's where the beauty of it is where Darren got them into that mentality of going, we don't talk about other teams. We concentrate ourselves, and that's it. We move on to the next game. We don't dwell on it game by game. If we lose a game, we look at the mistake. We move on. You put it behind you. It's in that box. Don't look at it again. We move on. I think the mentality has massively changed this season. For the better, don't get me wrong. The mentality this season is so much better with the guys this year. And I think it's interesting. Let me have a look at some of the comments because I've missed some here. Looking forward to watching Wednesday tomorrow on I Follow a Few Beers. I finally got I Follow in my bar. I'm not going to say anything on this one because I can't, but I know how you're doing it. And yes, it'll be good. Yes. Actually, technically you can because we can pay for this month, can't we? Yes. Normally, I know how a lot of people do it who can't go to game. Put it that way. No, Jim West, I follow for the whole of like the World Cup games is being given to UK customers as well. UK customers and international customers that are getting it to work for this. I think it's £10, the usual £10. It's Shrewsbury, Derby, Exeter, and something else. So it'll be interesting, that one. Let's have a look. Tell you what, mate, Ipswich haven't got an easy playing Exeter. Hate to say it. City are decent size. You could go second tomorrow. I really, 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 really do hope we go second tomorrow. Exeter are starting to look good a little bit. They're actually digging in, and I know as a Plymouth fan that must really hurt for you to type that because I know the rivalry there very strong. And so, yeah, I can understand that. How is Twine doing? Twine, yeah, they are missing Gotto Twine badly. Finally got I Follow in my bar. Twine apparently is injured. I spoke to Turfmore TV a couple of weeks ago, and I asked the question, what's going on with Twine? Because they signed this lad, and I was like, that is a cracking signing for Burnley. Absolutely tore it up in the in League One last season. Was like, right, he's gonna really do well in the Championship. I think he's gonna be such a good player for them. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, hang on a minute, it's not there. You look at it and go, why is it not working? And apparently he's injured. Interestingly enough here, if you're a Rotherham fan, apparently Burnley wanted to get Ben Wiles and apparently struggled because Rotherham wouldn't allow the move, which is interesting. Interesting that they had that they wanted to sign. They tried to sign him about 3 times by looks of it. Look. Yeah, so Rotherham United midfielder and Anderlecht had both admit that Vincent Company Championship leader Burnley tried to loan to Turfmoor over the summer. Interesting. That would have been a canny signing for Burnley. But yeah, apparently he's injured. From what I've heard, got Twine is just injured. He's not had any luck yet. So it will be interesting. At least I'm paying for it. Yes, yeah, I know. Who do you think going to win between Derby and Portsmouth? Ooh. Derby may just nick that. The annoying thing about that Derby game, and it bugs me, is how well Mendes Lang is currently doing for Derby. He is having such a good season. And he's showing that form that he had at Wednesday, but just more on a consistent level. But that's because he's been played as an out-and-out winger. I hate to say it, that he's actually looking decent. And he was one that I was actually a little bit gutted we didn't keep. But I thought he would have been a cracking signing to keep for this season. And it's showing it. It's showing it already how good he's doing, which is interesting. Let's look. Oh, okay, 2-2 draw. Yeah, I can see that. Ollie McBurney, that contract in United in summer. If we could, would sign him up. I don't think he'd come to Wednesday, mate. I Good player, got a good ability, looked decent on when he firing. Ollie McBurney, and if he goes up, Ollie McBurney, they'll just sign him on a new deal. They'll just give him a new deal. I think Sheffield United are very good at rewarding players who have done well for them. And I can see him being one that they turn around and say, "Look, we're just going to give you another deal." I can't see him really going anywhere because he actually fits that United team quite well because he got that toughness and kind of ability to like wind players up, and that's what United fans and United like to do. And I wouldn't if it was me. And I can't see him doing the old switcheroo to the other side. I think he knows how bad that would be doing that, and I can't see him doing it. I understand it's a good shout, don't get me wrong. It's a very good shout. But I really can't see him doing that unless something happened drastically that we don't know about, like behind the scenes or something happened. But for me, it's a good shout, but I can't see it. But it's one of those ones where you look at it and you think, yeah, maybe if it was either a different club, it might have happened, but I can't see that. One of the ones I'm always interested with is I'm surprised, and I'm not surprised, but I am. I can imagine his wages are huge. But I am very, very surprised no one picked up Danny Rose in like League One or League One at minimum. Because Danny Rose is currently out of contract and he's 32. He plays as a left back. His last club, with Watford, it didn't go well. But I am very surprised that no one's picked him up. Yes, since leaving Tottenham, he's not really had good loan spells. Like it's like 7 at Watford, 6 at Peterborough, 17 at Bristol City, had 27 appearances when he was at Sunderland, 11 appearances when he was at Newcastle, and he got 8 appearances for Watford. But it's one of the ones where I'm like, is it worth a shout? Is it worth just giving him a shout and see what he can do? It's like say come in January on a free agent kind of thing. Would you sell Pato to make Cody? No, I wouldn't, because I don't. Pato, you know what you get. You know what you get, and he's actually working well in the games, i.e. Lincoln. He'd probably be good in Shrewsbury game tomorrow. He's the one player where we got teams who dig in deep and work hard. It's the one that I highly, highly, highly like to see when we're up against the teams that are a little bit, how do you say it? They like to have the ball a little bit, and he's the only player for me who we got in that team at the moment that gets in their faces. Him and Barry, I seem to get in their faces. Like Smith had tried it, but it's not his game. It's not his game plan. Smith getting into player faces isn't really his game plan. He can do it, don't get me wrong. And I've seen him do it when he was at Rotherham. But personally, I think Patterson got a role this season, especially this season. It is an interesting one with Patterson because start of the season, I wasn't too sure where he was going to play. But now seeing him play, I can see why we got him, because he's that difference that we sometimes don't have. It's all right having a player who's quite tricky, but we don't have like I hate to use the word pit bull, but it's that kind of person who will just run for everything at times. Fair point, mate. I would feel privileged. I can understand that, and I can understand if an offer came in and it was up in Scotland, and so he said, "Look, we want to sign you." I wouldn't stop him going. Seriously, I won't stop him going because I know he misses Scotland a lot, and if he ever gets the opportunity to go back, he's gone. I It's one of the ones where if you replace him, you gotta bring in someone very, very similar to him. Then you have to bring in someone very similar to him, and I think we're gonna have enough room to bring in players because we got quite a small squad. When you look at it, our squad this year, I think it's an 18. Have a look. Have a look what we've actually got in the squad. Bring up because it'd be interesting to see. I ain't done this in 13. So we've got goalkeepers, it's Dawson, Stockdale, and Charles. Defenders, Palmer, Brown, Hennigan, Iorfa, Femiwu, Owitway, Hunt, James. McGuinness and Brennan gone out on loan, so that one doesn't count. So you get rid of McGuinness and James, all you're left with at the back is Palmer, Brown, Hennigan's out injured. So Palmer, Brown, Iorfa, Femiwu when he gets back, Owitway, and Hunt. That leaves us very short at the back. You look in midfield, we've got Vokes, Adeniran, who's coming back, Bannon, Byers, who looks like he's going to be coming back, Bashiru, Johnson, Backinson. Now, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Bashiru going forward. Hopefully, it's just going to be a signed deal done. But, like I said, Adeniran got an injury issue at times. Your Bayer keeps on picking up little knocks. And for me, Delhi is good, but when he picks up little knocks, at times it can stop him going forward. And you've got Volks, who is in the same camp but looking better. And then you actually look at what we got up top. It's Gregory and Smith, who are your out-and-out strikers. Myton's a winger. Windass is an attacking mid. Wilkes plays better when he comes in off the wing. And Patterson plays wherever. So you've got literally 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14. 25, but if you take away the 3 lads who are on loan, 22, then you've got the long-term injury to Hennigan, that's 21. So, and Femaru not back yet, so at the moment you can say like 20. It's a little bit of a small squad. Brown seemed to have been playing a couple bits of games when it's been cup games. Brown has come off the bench a little bit. Brennan might be coming back from what I read. They might be cutting his loan short. Hey, if that's the case, that means it's an extra defender we need, and he's had a first half of the season in League 2, which means he's fully ready to come into League 1 and battle. Because I thought Brennan looked superb last season. When he played, he did play some good stuff. It was interesting when Joe Cran asked about some of the youth team lot. Apparently, we have put a professional deal in front of one of the lads. I can't remember who it was. Let's have a look. Also, happy birthday to Rio Burr today. Hopefully, everything starts to go a little bit better for him because it's not been great. Bless him. So look, whenever. And it'll be interesting on Monday with the under-18s who have got Category 1 versus Derby, the Category 1 club. So it'll be good to see what's going on there. Because it's interesting. Darren Moore watches a lot of our under-18s, under-21s, and is very clued on when he's watching them because he's looking to see who's ready to step up. And I think that's something we haven't had for a while. I just don't think we've had that for a while where we can, what's it? I think it's that whole thing of like Sean Fuser, that's him, is one of the ones who we're looking at giving a pro deal to. And it's been confirmed by Darren Moore today. Like they're looking at offering him a deal. Good talent. He's been playing some good stuff. We haven't had, Sean, hang on, I found it. Where is Joe Cran? Sean Fuser, F-U-S-I-R-E. I think I remember doing a video on this lad a bit ago. I probably did. I do remember doing it. I remember the photograph anyway. So yes, it'll be interesting because we got some good young lad coming through, and this is something we haven't had. We've not had it where we've had youngsters being looked at by a manager or actually going and looking at managers and actually actively looking at them and actually showing him looking at the under 18s and under 21s. It's a bit weird to see that because the last time we were doing a lot of that was when we had Tommy Spur come through, Liam Palmer come through, Mark Beaver come through. We had a load of talent come through. Richard O'Donnell was one of them. And then it suddenly kind of like died. It went off a cliff. We didn't really look at anyone. We had a little spell where we thought, so you had Liam Shaw, you had Ozagidi, but then they got so when we all know the thing. Oh, both the white comes. But it is that thing where we haven't. There you go. We haven't had a manager that looks at the youth side of it and try to put them into the team. Darren started to do that. Even Gary Monk to a point started to use a little bit of youth when we needed it, and we had to because we couldn't get players at one point. And I think it's that situation. Having a gaffer that looks at the youth academy is something a little bit new for Wednesday because we haven't done it in a while. But it's a good new, if that makes sense. Because the youth academy is what prop you up for the next load of talent. So you can get a player who's decent, get him on a good deal. This is where we kind of messed up with Delhi. Delhi should have been the Claire. Maybe. If the deal was right, yes. But again, it's another one of those ones where when he was here, it sounds like it didn't really go well with talking to Chansiri in terms of contract negotiations. And again, I don't know if it's we've got a wage structure that we're not willing to break and have it at a certain thing or what. I'm not sure what the deal is. Like, it was interesting because a lot of people on the Delhi Bashiru thing, and I will be stopping soon because I've been going to nearly an hour. But it's been a good hour. So thank you all for coming and watching. And I'm enjoying doing live streams. So this is going to become more of a thing. Because I did say once I got the ability to do more of them, I would, and that's gonna be going forward. But the thing is, for me, with Delhi, we knew there was a player there, we knew there was talent there, we knew we wanted to get him into games. Now, I'm very surprised that we didn't try and put a contract in front of him last year. Like, last season. I'm very, very surprised that it didn't happen. Because I'm shocked how Punk. It coming along nicely. I'll be a bit better once I've got blinds in here. And some sound treatment. I'm waiting on a Black Friday deal to drop. Once the Black Friday deal drops, it's going to be a little bit better. A lot of what's happening here is kind of staying similar for now. But I kind of want to make the wood just age naturally in here instead of painting it or anything. Cause I think it'll look better. I've got a thing for that like old cigar room kind of like vibe, and I think it'll look good. Talking of that, it's gone really temperature just dropped out. I've dropped. Patina. Yes. That's something. Well, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I want to have it like a bit of a not a dingy kind of thing, but a decent kind of relaxing space that I can use as the studio, but also use it to chill out and stuff like that. A lot of things going getting sorted. A lot of it's just gear, Nat. A lot of it is not gear as in terms of what I use. It's more little bits that I haven't got and just getting the last little bits. Um, it's always been the case of last little bits until I was in a place. And I'm getting to that point where there's the tiny little bits that I need, and then I'm done. For now. And it'll stay how it is like this for a little bit and then change it up again at some point whenever. It's not always gonna stay in this configuration, but for the time being, I'm just enjoying having a base that I can call my own and do it and be able to do things that I wanted to do for a while. Um, yes, I am. Yeah. Funky Hours. I will be eventually buying some of the retro stuff. To be fair, DJ, the retro stuff the club put out is the same stuff that I buy already from the terrace. And I think there's only 2 on this retro item that I want actually. Oh, they start selling training gear. When did they start selling training gear all of a sudden? I didn't see that. Oh, interesting. Still don't like the training gear stuff in terms of, because it's interesting. They teamed up with the terrace, which is something I wanted them to do for sodding ages. The shirts. So I can tell you what I've got already out of these. So I have the 2000 and 2001 home retro shirt. I have the 94 retro shirt. I want the 98 retro home shirt. Kind of want the 88 because it's the year of born, 88, 87. And if they do that green one again, I kind of want that green one because I do like that green edit. I use the terrace all the time. It's ridiculous. Thanks. Function. No worries, mate. Have a good one. I hope you have a good one yourself as well and enjoy. Look after yourself. Yeah, there will be a tour of this place. But there is a condition to a tour of this place. It will go behind the membership. There will be a tour, but it will have to go behind the membership thing. As is coming in January, the truck driving streams will have to go behind the membership as well. I'm just starting to get to that point where I need to start looking at it in that way, just to help a little bit behind the scenes. With a lot of things, because there's a lot of things I want to do next year that gonna not be very easy for me to afford on my own. So putting some money back from membership back into the channel, though, like a lot of this is due to stuff that's happened. It's insane. I'm not gonna say too much because I get crap every time I talk about stuff. Like we've had it in the past when I bought the shirts and people went idiotic. But you understand what I'm saying. But there will be membership videos. The trucking streams will go behind a membership. The memberships are going to be $4.99. That's it. If you can afford it, do so. If you can't, I completely understand. I get that the cost of living situation going at a minute. But it would help fund this part of the channel and get things going. So I'll have other things. But the idea is to put trucking stream behind it for a little bit. And the tour behind it. I just, with how it is, you can understand why I'm a little bit cautious about it. Let's put it that way, if that makes sense, Nat. Yeah, I want to cover all bases on it. But yes, let's hopefully get 3 points. Because it'll be nice to end the weekend with 3 points. I may do a live tomorrow night. I haven't run this past the wife yet. I may. We'll see. Maybe not actually. Might not be tomorrow night. It might be mid-Wednesday again, actually, thinking about it. Well, we will see because I'm getting into this. Video will be up around 5:30, 6 o'clock of the review. Hopefully, we will be doing a reaction to all 3 points, which will be even better. Thank you, Nat. I do appreciate that. This channel's been going for a while before it was Wednesday stuff, but I've been covering Wednesday since we went up with Dave Jones. That's where I really took it seriously and covering Wednesday. Before, it was just throwing anything and hopefully it stuck and it did well, and I went from there. Then I found the niche, and then I found what I love talking about, which is Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. And I think I do a good job of covering it as a fan. I think I'm getting better the more I do it, the more I do live streams, the more I do videos. I think there's bits that I still massively need to improve. And I understand that. And I'm trying to learn to make it better for you as the viewing audience and for myself. So yes. So I much appreciate it. But yes, look after yourself, guys. I am going to go and get a drink. I'm going to go play some switch bowling. Have a good time playing switch bowling. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evenings. And thank you for joining me. Like I said, I knew tonight wasn't going to be a massive um, stream. So I did midweek and it had a bit more of a catchy title. So I need to do it. I like the way you include everyone, which is great. You too, mate. Have a safe journey to Burton. And please make the most of watching your club because we all missed it. But have a safe journey there and back, mate, because that is one hell of a trek from where you're going from. But yes, I will see you all in the next live stream, which will be either Wednesday or Saturday, but we'll see. But yes, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.